Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're on number 45, Transmutation, as far as the Auric programming journey goes. So we're at the top of page 70. So transmutation, there's lots of different kinds of transmutation. This is a very good general transmutation, but there's the transmutation of the elements, the transmutation of the emotions, of thoughts, even transmutation of the various aspects of the will. And so, depending on how you direct this, it can have a healing effect in a lot of different areas. Now, for those of you that did the class over the weekend, the 7 layers of emotion, we're looking at the dysregulation of the sympathetic nervous system, and then the activity or the tone of the parasympathetic part of the nervous system, which is rest and repair, and doing our best to regulate the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight flight, and increase the tone of the vagal nerve so that the body is in good rest and repair. And in this balance, the balance between the two, it starts to have a healing effect on the body, the emotions, and the mind. The thing that we were doing was calming down the production of lower emotions. So when we look at this idea of transmutation, transmutation is transmuting the accumulation of these emotions, and transmutation is transmuting the effects of these emotions on the body, the emotions, the mind long term. And you could say transmutation is tied to a kind of stream or a kind of flow of emotion that takes these lower emotions and moves them up to the heart to activate the heart. And in a way, it takes something that is potentially negative and eventually, if done properly, can produce a kind of bliss, an activation of the heart, and kind of a blissful, peaceful state. And so that's what we're going to shoot for a little bit tonight. We're going to shoot for transmutation, at least from the point of view of the the Auric programs are concerned. And we'll see how this has an effect on the body, both from the Auric programming point of view, and then when we do the deeper dive after that. So in your kit, you're pulling out a blend called Transmutation. And if you couldn't figure it out from smelling it, it is a fancy blend. It's pretty obvious, yeah. It's like a bunch of rows. Okay. So start inhaling, and your awareness is on the left side of your body. We're doing the standard approach. Left side of your face and neck, your left shoulder, your left hip, down the outer leg to the left outer ankle. The front side of the body, the front side, the face and throat, the chest, abdomen, front of the pelvis, down the fronts of the legs to the tops of your feet. And then the right side of the body, right side of the face and neck, the right shoulder, the right ribs and hip, down the outer leg to the right outer ankle. The whole right side of the body. Whole right side of the body. Now move your awareness to the back side of the body, the back of the head and neck, your whole back, your hips, down the backs of your legs to your heels. The back side of the body. And then pause and be still. Okay, notice how you feel. So that is the standard approach. Really could be used with just about anything, especially where things like emotions are at play, or at least conditioning. You know, uh, a conditioned uh, issues from the past. You could say your history. And so it's another way of breaking out of the patterns, like how we do with the nervous system and the nerve help. It just comes at it from a different angle. And so, any sort of psychological healing, but even physical healing, this could be done with. Um, but now let's go to the advanced approach. And so the advanced approach you might only want to do once or twice a week. That way your body can have time to shift and your energy body has time to integrate. So with that, begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the left side of the body. Left side of the body. Now move your awareness to the back side of the body, the whole back side, back of the head and neck, your whole back, your hips, down the backs of the legs to your heels. The whole back side of the body. Your awareness is on the right side of the body, the whole right side of your face and neck, your right shoulder and ribs, your right hip, down the outer leg to the right outer ankle. Your awareness is on the whole front side of your body, your face and throat, chest, abdomen, down the fronts of your legs to the tops of your feet. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. You're just being still. Okay, so now we're doing the next part. Your knees. Your awareness is on your knees. So you're doing your whole knee, or at least the back of your knee. Your awareness is still on your knees. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Now, move your awareness to the ankles. Your awareness is on the ankles. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the ankles. Move your awareness to the soles of the feet. Soles of the feet. And then just pause and be still. Pause and be still. Okay, let's do the 4 quadrants again. Your awareness is on the left side of your body, left side of your face and neck, your left shoulder, your left ribs and hip, down the outer leg to the left outer ankle. The whole left side of your body. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the left side. Now, move your awareness to the front side of your body, the face and throat, the chest, the abdomen, from the front of the pelvis, down the fronts of the legs to the tops of your feet. Hmm. The right side of your body, the whole right side of your face and neck, your right shoulder, your right ribs and hip, down the right outer leg to the right outer ankle. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then the back side of the body, the whole back side of the body, back of the head and neck, your whole back and hips, down the backs of your legs to your heels. And then pause and be still. Just pause and be still. You're just being still. Just being still. Okay. Again, begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the brain. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the brain. Your awareness is on the spine. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the spine. The brain and spine both at the same time. What's this feeling? Your awareness is on the brain and soles of your feet. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Now, as you inhale, move your awareness up above the ankles. As you exhale, your awareness is down into the earth. Then just pause and be still. Just pause and be still. Just be still. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and share experiences, ask questions. You can unmute yourself, you could type in. We'll do that. Then we'll go to a deeper dive.
Yeah, go ahead, Ralph.
Hey, Ralph.
Hey, Greg. Oh, well, that was fun. A couple of times I was sniffing away blissfully, and suddenly you said something, and you were 3 steps beyond where I was.
Isn't that nice? I mean,
Oh,
it's
I think it's wonderful. It's just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, where did I go?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, transmutation, that's a really fancy oil.
Yeah, it is.
Is there a substitute for it? If
I mean, there's not really like a substitute for it, like because you're working the program. But if you
right.
wanted to kind of have, uh,
Something that's in the same vein, but maybe not quite as high powered.
right, some sort of rose.
Hmm.
So rose absolute, Damascus rose.
I have some Rose Absolute.
Yeah, yeah, that would work. Pink healer would work.
Okay.
Um, ginger lily could work kind of somewhat. Like, because here we're talking about transmutation.
Yeah.
And so like the thing that I would say is, like ginger lily is very good for transmutation.
Hmm.
Roses, but they kind of transmute things a little bit differently.
Right.
And part of what you're transmuting sometimes, even when we're dealing with emotion, is there's an aspect in the elements that you're transmuting. And it's complicated. I usually don't talk about this, but we're on transmutation and we have a little bit of time. And so I was like, why not? And so we go through, we transmute, blockages in the body, we transmute emotions, we transmute the will, we transmute stress, we transmute all these kind of different things. And there's an aspect in the elements that spiritual energy will kind of in a way transfigure, like, which means change, like the elements, so the building blocks in our body. And they're not literal elements, they're the energetic building blocks. And so fire, air, and earth, all, like when we do meditation, when we do prayer, when we do um, certain kinds of healing, the negativity gets disintegrated, they get transmuted, they move to being like a higher version of themselves, or they get disintegrated and move to the light. Then there's the water element. And the thing with the water element is that it's not transmuted or transfigured by spiritual energy. In fact, it feeds off spiritual energy and um, becomes more negative. And this is that play between our higher nature and our lower nature, or form and essence. It's tied to the creative process where there's the light and there's form, and in the play of yin and yang, there's always like a built-in aspect of conflict. And really, what you could say on a deeper level, there's a level or degree aspect of paradox. That's part of what we're doing when we're working dysregulation and vagal tone is we're trying to harmonize these aspects so that a higher part of the nervous system can deal with two completely opposite things, and they both can be true, and we can hold them in the heart or we can hold them in our physiology, in the nervous system.
And
And
have them be true and have them be,
they're
like you
both
said,
they're
a
both true.
paradox,
They're
but somehow harmonized in their
right,
paradoxical natures.
right.
Okay.
And so that is the aspect of water, is that um, for water to be transmuted or transfigured, it can't be with spiritual energy. It can't be with the mind. It can't be, the only thing that transmutes it is love. Like it's just love. That's the only thing that will transmute it. And so the more that you try to go at it with prayer or mantra or meditation, that's why you'll have like an amazing meditation. You go, this is amazing, amazing. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. I'm gonna do this all the time. And then a month goes by and you're like, yeah, I'll get to it at some point, because you had that experience. And part of what feels like sometimes what we're like expelling out is actually the water element that's very, very agitated. And so when you look at the idea of transmutation, that aspect of water has to be one of the bigger things that you transmute. And the only thing that really does it well is rose. It's the other ones can kind of do it somewhat, but rose is like a better transmuter of the water element. And so the different things can be added to it to enhance the rose, but rose is usually more the driving force. And so that's why you see in some traditions where they have the rose as like some symbol of some sort of practice, is it's this transmutation of the aspect in nature that is in that's contrary to the light,
Mhm.
and so you know ginger lily will kind of do it, tuberose can kind of do it, like they're not the best choice. Rose does it the best by far. And even in that, like if you look at the idea of, there's rose absolute, there's Damascus rose, and then there's the holy rose. And the holy rose is the rose that activates the heart and the crown. Even that one doesn't do it as well as just regular like rose, like Damascus rose or rose absolute, because as soon as the crown comes in, that little water element, like the negativity, actually gets stimulated. And
Mm.
so it's almost like it has to be like kind of a lower vibration of um, of love. It can't even be super high love. It needs to be
Amazing.
like the person really has to come to that place. The manifestation is the ability to hold paradox, like hold paradox in the heart or hold paradox in the mind. And the heart's a little bit better at it. The part of the mind that does it is the intuitive mind. The intuitive mind can hold both those aspects and do it well. Intellect cannot. Intellect is about, this is good, this is bad, this is wrong, this is right. And so There's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be drama. There's always going to be something with the intellectual part of it. It's always going to be at odds with something. And so that's why I always talk about like the intellect really can't address psychological issues because it always is going to drag along being contrary. Like it's always going to bring conflict to it and not going to resolve things.
Is it conflict or is it just the positive,
Yeah.
negative aspect of the
Conflict,
intellect?
yeah, conflict or contrary, like be
Okay.
contrary.
All right.
Yeah.
So this brings up something to my mind. So in doing this, if we're looking at the the sort of the contrary positive negative aspects, and you're saying that really it's the love aspect we need to look at, or the love aspect we need to
Right.
transmute.
Right.
So if we're inhaling the rose oil or the transmutation oil and thinking about love at the same time, is that going to be enough of a separation between
Yeah,
the,
you could actually just think of situations and that would work. You don't
okay,
even have to think love. You can just be inhaling the rose or transmutation.
yeah,
Think of different situations and it would have that stabilizing effect on those. Because you do pH,
mm,
yeah? You do pH,
yes,
right? So you remember the consecration for the crystal?
yep,
Okay. So you notice when you consecrate it with the elements of fire, air, and earth. There's no water.
ooh,
That's
that's
why.
right.
That's why.
Okay, okay,
Like because then you're impregnating your crystal with something that's contrary to spiritual and healing energy.
okay,
That's
all
why
right,
holy water is a big deal
okay,
because it's been changed to something.
hmm, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, juicy.
Yeah.
Much to cogitate upon. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, here's the one.
And go ahead, Denise.
Hey, Denise.
Hi, thank you. I feel like I've been going through transmutation. So maybe in us doing this Auric program in a way, we start almost experiencing part of it a little bit in our lives.
Yeah, it should start setting a pattern, because that's part of what we're doing with the Auric program is you're impregnating the aura with the pattern that eventually physicalizes. And so it has an impact on the different aspects of the nervous system, sympathetic part of the nerves, which is fight, flight, and rest and repair. But it also would have an impact on the central nervous system, the somatic nervous system. You know, it would have an impact on the energy body. It would have an impact on the elements. Like, yeah.
The other question, I know this isn't going to sound because I probably should know it, but I feel really unclear about it. So I guess the way to clear it up is to ask you, what exactly do the four quadrants do?
You're working the aura, but you're working it in like kind of a structured way. So you're breaking down the negative thought forms or the negative programs that are in the energetic aura, the energetic mold or blueprint, and you're shifting the aura from lower state of consciousness, which it's very much tied to our lower nature, and we're starting to shift it potentially into like a higher vibration or a higher state, a higher form of consciousness. That's why, like when we do the ball of light
Mm.
in the different practices, you're still working the aura, but instead of trying to undo like the programs and things, you're trying to bring like a higher potential to the aura. Like